Hey, it's Lucas, and today I'm back for another UK medical review, this time for 4C Labs Watermelon Splash Cart. So as far as I'm aware, this is just distillate that's been flavoured with botanical terpenes. I don't think that Watermelon Splash is a real strain, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've done a little bit of research, couldn't find anything, so as far as I'm aware, this is just some generic distillate that's been flavoured with botanical terpenes. The flavour that I got is Watermelon Splash. It is 850mg of THC and less than 10mg of CBD. Also, apparently this is an indica, although I don't really know how it works with distillate and being indica and sativa. I don't really feel one way or the other, I just sort of feel a generic high. Starting out with the looks, this is what the front of the packaging is looking like. I'll read that out. It says general admission. Underneath that it says medicinal cannabis vape cartridge. Then there is my prescription label, and underneath that it says 4C Labs cannabis based product for medicinal use in humans. And then this is what the back is looking like, and I'll go ahead and read that out. WSV 85/1 medicinal cannabis distillate vaporizer cartridge, THC 850mg, CBD less than 10mg, indica, formulation Watermelon Splash, producer Decibel, other ingredients botanical terpenes, batch number, expiry is 14th of the 12th 2025, so that is actually quite close. 0.95 grams, route of administration for inhalation only, keep out of reach inside children, warning, storage instructions and manufacturer. So after having one of the Aurora vapes that come in a plastic tube, getting a vape in these bags is just, I don't like the vapes that come in bags. I don't feel like it's a good form of packaging to get carts in. The tubes are much better, they're much sturdier. There is too much empty air in here and too much room for it to fall over. I just don't like the bags. It's not a super big bag like the Sundays one, that was just ridiculously long. This one is a normal height, I would say, probably, well, definitely still too big to just fit a cart in. I don't know why it's this big, I really don't think it needs to be, so just for that I would give it probably a 3 out of 10. Also, it's just a generic sort of smoky black, the same colour as the Suds packaging, I think it was. That doesn't reflect watermelon to me at all, so I don't really like it. 3 out of 10 for the packaging. Moving on to the looks, depending on whether YouTube wants to be a little
love
today or not. If this video is unage restricted, you'll have to click on the link in the pinned comments and that'll take you to a video of the cart and it'll show you it there. If this video is age restricted for no reason, because we follow all of YouTube's guidelines over here, then I will just show the cart now. Depends on what kind of day YouTube is having as to whether I show it now or not. If you see in this version, YouTube has decided to play ball, so you'll have to click the link in the pinned comment and that will take you to a short showing the cart. I am going to go ahead and give the looks of this a 4 out of 10. Now it just looks like a generic cart. It looks a lot like the Upstate ones. It's got a black mouthpiece and then just another clear glass tank. I nearly said plastic then, but I'm pretty sure it's a glass tank. The only thing that I don't like about it is that the label, the product label, is matte white, so you can't see through it, and it is almost all the way around the cart, so there's a thin sliver where you can see how much of the distillate is left, but it makes it really difficult to see how much is left. Take a hit every time I said how much is left. I'm actually pretty baked right now. I'm making this video at 10:26 p.m. instead of the usual, like 1 in the afternoon or something like that, so I'm pretty baked, I'm pretty tired, please bear with. The label is very informative. I do like that the label's on there, but I can't remember which other cart it was that had a see-through label. I think it was the Sundays one. Unfortunately, they made a mistake by putting the THC sticker underneath that, so nobody's got it perfect yet, but I would have preferred, I like that not the THC label, I like that the information label is on there, but I don't like that it's matte and you can't see through it. I took a hit of this not knowing that the car was empty, and it was absolutely disgusting, so I would like to be able to see a lot sooner than before I take a hit that it was gone. And the information label is pretty much exactly the same as what is on the outside of the packaging. WSV 85/1 medicinal cannabis distillate vaporizer cartridge, 850mg of THC, less than 10mg of CBD, indica, Watermelon Splash, producer Decibel, botanical terpenes, and the expiry. So all of the information is on there. It's just a shame that you can't see through the label, and it makes it hard to see when the cart has actually ran out. All of that being said, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I don't think it looks terrible. It is just merely down to the fact that you can't actually see the distillate in the cart very well. So moving on to the taste, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It tastes exactly like a watermelon nicotine vape. Depending on whether you like that will contribute to whether you like this or not. The flavour for me, I used to buy watermelon vapes if they didn't have the flavour that I actually wanted. Watermelon was never really my go-to. I didn't really like it, but it was okay enough to get me by. So for this, it was okay. Like I said, it wasn't particularly nice. It just tasted like really, really highly artificial watermelon, which, again, I don't really know why I picked this one, because watermelon, that type of artificial sort of vape flavour watermelon, like I said, would never be my first choice, but for some reason I picked it in this, so it's really my own fault for picking a flavour that I knew I didn't really care for. So just 5 out of 10. It does taste really, really artificial, like just super artificial. I haven't tried the other ones, actually, that's a lie. I've tried the grape one, and that one also tastes really artificial. So I think these ones are made to taste artificial, which to me, I've found that makes it easier for me to over medicate on this. Not really like over medicate to a point of whiting or anything like that, but I, in social situations, have just been sitting there chogging on this, because to me it feels like when I used to use the disposable nicotine vapes, which I haven't used in like almost 2 years now. So it's kind of easy to fall back into that just puffing on it for no reason sort of habit with this, and then you just continue to get higher and higher and higher, which works out fine for me. I like laughed it off, but for somebody else it might not work out so well. I forgot to talk about the smell of this, and again, it smells like a really, really artificial nicotine vape. So if you're looking for discreetness, it does smell quite strongly when you take it out of the packaging, but it doesn't smell like weed at all. It just, like I said, it smells like artificial watermelon. It smells like a nicotine vape. So I would say that these are absolutely 10 out of 10 discreet, but they do smell like there's not no smell whatsoever. It's just there is no cannabis smell at all to this, in my opinion. So yeah, 10 out of 10 discreetness all the way with this. Going back to the flavour, I gave it a 5 out of 10, but the hit for me is also super harsh on this. It's way harsher than the rosin, it's way harsher than resin distillate in general. All of the ones I've tried have been quite harsh, but this one in particularly, if you take multiple hits at a time, like usually I will take at least 2 hits, usually 3, but even if I just take 1 hit, it is quite harsh, so bear that in mind. If you cough a lot, this will probably make you cough. It's quite harsh. I don't know if that's because it's cheap, I don't know whether that's because of the botanical terpenes, or whether, like I said before, just because it's distillate. I do find distillate to be the harshest, I'm just tripping over my words. I do find distillate to be the harshest out of rosin, resin and distillate, so if harshness plays a factor for you, then just take that into consideration. Moving on to the effects, I am actually going to give this a 7.9. Now my brain jumped to 8, but I don't think I can give it an 8. I've found that during the daytime, when I'm at work or when I'm out and about, like usual, when I take my pen with me, I don't know why I blanked then when I was thinking about that. I take my vape pen with me when I go to work and stuff like that. And like I'm fine during the day, but the thing that I've noticed this is best for is not immediately before bed. Like it's good for that, but I've been waking up at around 3-4 in the morning a lot recently, and it's been really, really annoying me. I haven't had that problem for a while, but it's come back, and I've noticed, especially when I compare this to my sourdough pen from Aurora, when I hit this, when I woke up at like 3 AM and I couldn't get back to sleep, if I hit this 3 times, I laid back and I melted and I fell asleep almost instantly. Now with the sourdough one, I can hit it like 3 times and I'll lay back, and that's more of a creeper to me. So I found this watermelon splash to be almost an instant hit, and really, really good for relaxing me and putting me back to sleep when I wake up in the early hours. It's, like I said, it's not the best for going to sleep initially. I like flour for that. It's okay for during the day if you just need a little pick-me-up to get you by. But where this really shines for me is, like I said, when it comes to insomnia and I keep waking up during the night. If I hit this, I can go back to sleep almost immediately, especially, well, when I say almost immediately, I mean within about half an hour, because usually when I go to sleep, I lay down and I put a podcast on and I time it for an hour, and 99.9% of the time I'm still awake at the end of that. So when I'm talking about half an hour, for me that feels like almost instantly, especially when I've been tossing and turning for an hour and I've gotten to the point where I need to get up and take my medication so that I can go back to sleep. At that point, to be able to lay back down and fall asleep almost instantly is an absolute godsend. So where this lacks in everything else, the looks, the taste, the smell, just the overall quality, where it lacks in that, the effects of this, for me, just in that particular instance, is just bang on, and I really, really like it. So I'm going to give the effects a 7.9 out of 10. So let's go back through our rating. Packaging is getting a 4 out of 10. Don't really like it. Smell is getting a 10 out of 10, absolutely 100% discreet. It does smell like strong artificial watermelon, but everybody's just going to think it's a nicotine vape, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. Taste, 5 out of 10. Watermelon is not my favourite, like I said. It reminds me of the super artificial nicotine vapes that I used to use. I think it's one of them. I think I like it because of that. Whenever I would get the watermelon splash flavoured things, I'd be hitting it and I'd be like, I don't really like this, but I also do kind of like it at the same time, and that was probably the nicotine talking. So like I said, it's really easy to just chong on this, and I like it, but I also don't like it, so I think that comes into play with it. But for me personally, the flavour's getting a 5 out of 10. And the effects are getting a 7.9 out of 10. Just generally okay throughout the daytime, but in those moments of insomnia where I'm tossing and turning and I just can't get back to sleep, 2 to 3, maybe even 4 to 5 hits of this and I am melting into my bed. It is amazing for that. Like I genuinely, I couldn't have asked for anything better at that point in time. During the day, fine, just like any other distillate that I've tried, but I don't know what it is. Just at that moment, it really, really saved my ass. So 7.9 for the effects. And I think overall, as a whole package, I'm going to give the 4C Labs Watermelon Splash Distillate Vape a 6 out of 10. Fair effort, not bad, not good, but like, it's nice to see a lower price vape. I would, from what I've seen, I know you can't really compare the market in the US and Canada to what we have over here in the UK as a medical market, but they get distillate for like $30 or something similar over there. I mean, I've seen people get bundles where they get like 3 distillate pens for around $30, which is absolutely wild, considering that we have to pay like £49 for not even a full gram. It's kind of stupid. It is overpriced, but it's the cheapest thing that we've got so far, and it's filling a space in the market, and it's not good, but it's, well, I mean, it is good. It's not great. It's just fine. It's certainly not bad. I feel like I'm convincing myself of that, but I haven't hated this. I really haven't hated it at all. I mean, they fill a hole in the market where some medical patients or users, whatever you want to call them, users has a negative connotation, but like when I call myself a medical cannabis user, I don't think that's negative. So when I say user, medical cannabis users or just users, I don't mean it in a negative way, even though it sounds negative. Anyway, some users sometimes they need their medication, but they can't get over the flavour of cannabis. You know, not everybody likes it, unfortunately. Like, I love weed. I love the taste of weed. I like tasting all kinds of different weed, which is why I bang on forever and ever when there's no fucking flavour to medical bud, because like, what's the point? You're taking out a huge part of the plant. But that's a rant for another time. Some people don't like it and some people do like it, but at certain points when they have flare-ups for whatever conditions, they can't stomach the taste of it or the smell of it or whatever. So these artificial or botanical terpenes that and no taste or smell of weed is helping some people, and it's also helping other people that do like the smell and taste of weed but can't have the smell and the taste of weed around them for whatever reason. I think, like I said, they're filling a corner of the market, which is not a bad thing at all. It's not going to be for everybody. I definitely want to try different flavours. and I probably would get this again if I was in a pinch. I didn't have a lot of money and I couldn't afford the extra, what is it, like £17 for an Aurora one. Although the Aurora ones are better and they are better value, these fill a hole. And that's where I'm going to leave it, I think. So overall, the Watermelon Splash Distillate cart from 4C Labs is getting a 6 out of 10 from me. Have you tried the Watermelon Splash Distillate kit? Distillate? Fucking wow. That's hard to say. Watermelon Splash Distillate cart from 4C Labs. Have you tried it? Did you like the Watermelon Splash Distillate cart from 4C Labs? I'm going to go smoke a bowl right now. Good night. Subscribe for more videos.